I'm so nervous I'm ready to buy a house, but I have no idea what I'm doing. How do I make sure I don't make any mistakes? What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here with Haven Real Estate Group at Keller Williams One Legacy Partners. First off, thank you so much for checking out our channel. We really do appreciate you coming back. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. And give us that like just because it helps our self-esteem. Today in this video, we're going to go over 7 mistakes that you should avoid when buying a house. First mistake that buyers make when they start looking at houses is they just start looking at houses and getting into houses without getting pre-qualified or pre-approved. Biggest mistake. That's the example that I use is having champagne taste on a beer budget. Here's the reality of it, is that you don't need to be looking at a $500,000 house if you can only afford a $250,000 house. There's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of amazing $250,000 houses in this town. And there's a lot of $100,000 houses in this town that you can possibly afford. Probably need some work, but that's okay. If that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford. There's no reason to be looking at these marble floors and marble countertops and all that kind of stuff if you are only able to afford a lower priced house. Second mistake that people make when they're looking for a house is they are looking for that unicorn. They're looking for that diamond in the rough. They're looking for that one house that is absolutely perfect, checks every single box. Not saying it can't happen, because it can, but don't be looking for everything. Unless you have an unlimited amount of money that you can spend on a house, go for it. Then you can either 1, create that house, or 2, find that house that has most of them and then fix that house up later to make it be that house for you. Okay? Unless you have that unlimited amount of money, most times one house is not going to check every single box that you're looking for. Okay? In that same thing, don't feel rushed. You cannot feel rushed when you're buying a house. Okay? I'm not saying that there doesn't need to be some urgency whenever you do find that house, but do not feel rushed. There will always be homes that come on the market. Now, some people will be saying, well, Kyle, what about my lease ends at this point in time and I need to get into a new house and I need to be ready for that. What do I do then? That's fine. That's fine. We can find you something. We can get you in there and we can get you taken care of. We have it. It's okay. But don't feel rushed to the point that you are getting stressed and getting worried and all that stuff. I've had many clients who are looking at houses and going, and they don't find anything. So that's fine. Sign a new lease. Whether it's a month, whether it's a 6-month, whether it's a year, do not go into a house. Buyer's remorse is a real thing. Be aware of that. Third mistake that people make when looking for houses is ultimately expecting the house value to go up without doing anything. Okay? I'll be the first one to tell you, I love getting into a house and getting into the house and making it new and bringing it up to the times and updating that house. My wife will tell you she loves / hates the fact that I do this, because we were moved into our house, needed some updates, needed some stuff there. It went up in value, but I put a lot of work and a lot of energy and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that piece of it, and making sure that we updated our kitchen, we updated our bathroom, we updated our flooring, we updated our backyards, our yard. We did a lot of things to upgrade our house in order for it to go up in value. Don't just expect the market to go up in value. It doesn't happen that way all the time. That's where people you hear the term, they get underwater. That's what happens is they buy a house at the top of the market, which is fine and that's not a big deal, but they buy that house up there thinking, okay, well, it's already here. Well, that means in a year it's going to go up in $10,000. Not always true. Be aware of the fact that it could be different. It could be something a little different and their value could go up or could go down because it will have that fall in a market. Fourth mistake that people make when buying a house, underestimating your expenses. Understand there are a lot of expenses that go into purchasing a home. Okay? Just off the top of my head, you're going to have your own closing costs as a buyer. You're going to have your own closing costs. Could be registration taxes, could be loan origination fees, could be inspections. I know on my own personal house, we spend $1,000 on inspections alone, whether it be a whole house inspection, a fireplace inspection, sewer inspection, anything there. We spend $1,000 just on inspections. Okay? Then you also have down payment. So all of that stuff comes into play. You can be anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 just in closing costs, just in buyer closing costs. So there's $4,000 to $6,000 in closing costs. Then on top of that, you've got down payment and everything else involved in that as well. Then the other part of the expenses you need to be aware of, what your estimated payment is going to be. If you have a real estate agent that's not telling you what your estimated payment is going to be, number one, think about where you're at with a real estate agent. Number two, ask them. Ask them to give you, hey, what's my estimated payment going to be? Because what makes up a payment is huge whenever you're making your monthly budgets and what you need to be aware of, because sometimes you can't afford that payment after you've included principal and interest, after you've included taxes, after you've included insurance. And some people, if you don't have the luxury of putting down 20%, you need to also include what's called PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. So be aware of what your expenses are whenever you go to purchase a home. Fifth mistake, and probably one of my biggest pet peeves when buying a house, you go out into let's paint this picture. You go into an open house, you go in there and say, oh my gosh, this is the one, baby, I love this house, this is amazing, let's do this. You look over at that agent that's sitting at that open house, guess what? They don't represent you, they represent the seller. They represent the seller. So then you look at them and you say, oh my gosh, we love this house. How do we make an offer? And that agent's just sitting there, I'm excited. I'm going to get both sides of this. But here's the thing. That agent does not represent you. That agent does not represent you. They represent the seller. I know I'm probably going to get chastised quite a bit for pulling the curtain back on this one. That agent represents the seller. They do not look out for your best interest. There are ways around that, but they don't necessarily look out for your best interest. What if that agent has already overpriced that house, overpriced that listing? Now you walk in, you say, well, what should I offer for this price? I'm sorry, I can't tell you that because I'm not representing you. Be aware of who you're representing, who is representing you, who's in your corner when you are looking to buy a house. If you have questions, I would love to talk with you. And my team and I, what we are able to do in those scenarios to help you out in making sure that you are making that best decision. Sixth mistake, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one, but the fallacy that renting is throwing away money. I am a huge, huge proponent that you need to be buying a house, putting equity into a house, spending that time there. But here's the thing. It may not be that for you. And I know that's the horrible salesperson in me because I should be the one who's shoving buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. That's not always the case, guys. Make sure that you are looking at your finances. Make sure that you're looking at your long-term plan. If you're going to be in Manhattan for 3, 5, 10 plus years, buy a house. Renting may not be the best move for you. If you're going to be here for 1 year, 2 years and out of here, whether you're military or whether your job takes you elsewhere, really look into it. Is buying a house the right thing for you? Maybe you need to be renting. Maybe you need to do that. And that's if you're not updating, okay? We buy houses all the time that we buy them and we take them, we sell them in a couple of months' time. But we're actually going in and updating those houses. So if you have the know-how, the want to, and the financial backing to go in and update a house, do that. That's always a good spot, always a good move versus renting. But here's the thing, again, renting's not always a bad thing. Not always a bad thing. But throwing your money away and funding somebody else's retirement for long term in one place, not the best move. So just pay attention to what you're kind of looking at and what to kind of expect there. Seventh mistake that I see when people are buying a house, they go with the first agent they meet. Why would you go with the first agent you meet? I'm not saying that, obviously, if you come to me, then just stop looking. We found it. It's fine. No, but really, if my personality is not that fits you and fits your personality and our goals don't align, then why would you use me? Again, I want to help you. I want to help everybody that I spend time with, everybody that I help purchase a home. I want to leave you in a better position than what you were. But there's a lot of agents out there that just slam people in the houses and don't even think twice about it, and then you never hear from them again. We want to build a relationship with your agent. They're going to be there potentially going to be there for a long time. There's a lot of my clients that I help them find a home, and then we turn around and we buy a house. We turn around, sell their house, and then they go find something else. And I want to be there. I want to build that lifelong relationship with people and be there for that fact of it. So interview your agents. There may be the time that you may not feel that I'm the best agent for you. That's fine. I want you to be having a wonderful experience. Our industry has a bad name of showing people that it is just slamming people in the houses and cash that check. That's not the way it should be, guys. That's not the way it should be. They should be able to give you the honest answer on every house that you walk into. Who's going to give you that best experience? Interview them. Interview every one of them. It's fine. It's totally fine and totally normal to do that, and most agents will be okay with it. If they're not, you should probably think about that. But interview your agents. Make sure someone has your best interest in mind for you and your family when you're buying a house. Again, thank you guys for checking out our video. We really do appreciate it. We put this information out there for you, our consumers, to make sure that you are making the best decision for you and your family and helping educate you on the real estate process. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, click that little bell so you get notified of any future content, and please give us that like just because it helps us out. If you or you know of somebody that's looking to buy or sell a house, please reach out to us. My number is 785-477-5485. My email is kyle@homesforsalemhk.com. And we really do love to answer any kind of questions or anything that way. Go ahead and put it in the comments below, and we can help answer anything that you have, or maybe you're just curious about something. But we want to make sure that you are educated in this entire process of buying and selling a home from start to finish. So if you know of anybody, give us a call, shoot us an email, get a hold of us. We definitely would love to help you out whenever you are buying a house in Manhattan, Kansas. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.